Hey everyone, today we're doing a little bit different kind of video. As you can see, I have my truck parked behind me, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an in-depth review. I have about 50,000 miles on my truck, so I'm going to give you an in-depth review of just kind of from an owner-operator's perspective of my 2025 Kenworth T880. So to start with, I'll just give you guys a breakdown of the specs on this truck. So this is a 2025 Kenworth T880. Starting with the axles. On the front axle, we have a 14,300 pound steer axle. On the back, we have Kenworth AG 460. That's 46,000 pound rear suspension. The engine in my truck is a Cummins X15. And I don't know if you guys can see the specs there, but this is a 565 horse, maybe you can see it over there. It's a 565 horse, 1850 torque, Cummins X15. Behind the Cummins, I have a manual Eaton 18 speed. And then behind the transmission, I have the two, I guess they're 23,000 pound rears, but together with the suspension, it is the Kenworth AG 460 suspension. And I have Meritor, it's two Meritor 23,000 pound rear differentials with 3.58 gear ratio. With those rears, I also have a power divider or interaxle, I know they call them power dividers. It just sends power to both axles instead of just one. And I have lockers on both differentials. Got this truck with the 40-inch flat top sleeper, and I ordered it with beacons on the back of the cab. The frame on this truck is not a normal frame. I mean, it's normal, but it's not a on a regular truck. This one's spec'd as a heavy haul truck, so this has a taller frame and it's a little bit thicker, so that when I spec'd it, I was told I had to have a little heavier frame. That gets me up to a gross weight of 120,000 pounds, according to PACCAR or Kenworth. So one other unique thing about my truck is that it is a pack lease truck, meaning that I don't own this truck. I lease it from PACCAR in their full service lease program called Pack Lease. So what that means is I pay a monthly fee plus mileage on this truck, and then they take care of any maintenance, any repairs, pretty much anything that goes wrong that doesn't involve me, driving into something and damaging it. They fix with no cost to me. I just pay that one monthly fee. The reason I did that is because in my experience, owning used trucks, which is, all I have been able to afford up until this point, owning used trucks or even a new truck, the thing that gets you is not your, it's not the cost of the repairs. It's the downtime that you have. So your truck goes down and it could be a simple thing, but maybe the shop doesn't have the part, or maybe the shop just has a backlog of a couple weeks before they can get you in. You're down. When you're used to grossing $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 a week on a heavy haul truck like this, and I'm not saying I do that every week, but $5,000 is pretty normal. So you gross that every week, all of a sudden you're down for 3 weeks. Well, that's, you know, between 15 and up to, you know, maybe $25,000 of income that you have lost. It's gone. So with the lease truck, this is my second pack lease truck. My first one was a T880 that I pulled a 30-ton RGN with. That truck had a PACCAR in it and an automated manual transmission. And even with the PACCAR, which are not known as the most reliable engines, they have a little more problems. But even with that engine in it, I had virtually no downtime in that truck. I think I might have had, at the most, 3 days of downtime in the entirety of that 3-year lease. So this truck is on a 4-year lease from Pack Lease, and it has a Cummins engine. So any problems that I have, I just take it into my local Kenworth dealer that I lease it from, and they fix it. I haven't had any problems with this truck, and they call and let me know when it's time to bring it in for an oil change. I'm usually home a little earlier on Fridays. Usually I can take it in Friday after lunch and I'll have it back Saturday morning. So no downtime, and for me that's worth the payment on this. Okay, now that I've done the specs on the truck, I'll talk about specific things. So one thing I really love about this truck is this Cummins engine. This thing has been awesome. I have had no issues, 0 in 50,000 miles on this engine. And I don't know if I've ever gone, even on my used trucks, I don't know if I've ever gone 50,000 miles with no issues whatsoever. So that is pretty awesome. I mean, this thing has just been, it's been strong since the day I got it, and it just does great. So it's hard to compare fuel mileage on this engine versus my PACCAR engine that I had in my last truck, because in my last truck I never did over 80,000 pounds. In this truck I'm doing, I think the heaviest load I pulled was 116,000 pounds gross. So that's 36,000 pounds more than I pulled with my other truck. And the reason I say that is because first quarter this year I averaged 5.3 miles per gallon with this engine, 18 speed, 358 rears. But when you're pulling that much weight, I mean, it takes more fuel to move it. So I can speak to the performance of this engine. It's awesome. I regularly pass you know, trucks pulling van trailers that you know can't be over 80,000 pounds going up hills when I'm, you know, 95 or 100,000 pounds. So the thing runs great. And I mean, 5.3, I would say I average, in the first quarter last year, I probably averaged 95,000 pounds gross. So I don't think that's that bad. I have heard it said that once these engines get broken in, about 50,000 miles, you will see an increase in fuel mileage. But I've also heard people say once you hit that 50,000, you know, you'll really feel the power come on. And I can't notice any difference in power in this engine. So I don't know if I will see a difference in fuel mileage. I mean, fingers crossed, hopefully I do. As far as cons or negatives with this engine, other than the fuel mileage, this thing's been great. I don't have anything bad to say about it. So good job, Cummins. One thing I have noticed about this steer axle, but every truck I've ever had does the same thing. Just depending on your weight, and it's not that it's when you're super heavy, but sometimes at low speeds it pops a little bit. Seems like there's a little bit of a bind, but that, like I said, every truck I've had has had a little pop every once in a while when you're going around corners. So you guys let me know. Do you agree with that? Or is this something that I should tell Kenworth about? Maybe they can look into it. I have looked over this front suspension several times. I can't see anything wrong with it, and it only has 50,000 miles on it. I think that's just the way it goes with truck steering. So appearance wise, I think you'd have to say that's a pretty truck. I really like the way this thing looks. It's blue, which is my favorite color, so that's a plus. But yeah, I like the design of it. Cool feature, these have removable fenders, so if you damage this fender, this piece can come off and be replaced. You don't have to replace the entire hood, so that's cool. All right, so this truck has dual exhaust, and I will say one gripe I have, and it's not even really a gripe, it's just I don't understand it. So this side, the exhaust is hooked up. I don't know if you can see underneath there to the other side. That's the other exhaust pipe. I'll show you guys on this side. This exhaust is not even hooked up. So they have the appearance of dual exhaust, but I don't know if it's like money saving. It looks good. So I don't know if they're trying to save money or if it's something to do with emissions and just the way the exhaust has to run, but it's only one pipe hooked up. As far as the back end of the truck, again, no problems. I mean, I literally have had no issues with this truck whatsoever. So the rears are great, but yeah, the ride is good. I mean, when you get super heavy, you know, you're 110,000 pounds, it's gonna ride a little rougher, but this does have the 8 airbag suspension on it, so it's a pretty good ride. I think this truck rides better than my 680 did. A couple features that I added, these fenders, I actually pulled these off of my 680 and put them on this one. They are from a company in Michigan, Robmar Plastics make these fenders. They were the cheapest ones that I could find, honestly. I like the plastic because, I mean, this came loose, so I had to get another bolt and put in it, but while it did that, the tire got into a little bit and it ate a little bit away. But they're not expensive. You know, I think it was 600 bucks for all 4 and the kit to mount them. Easy to mount. I do recommend the Robmar plastics fenders. The other thing I added to this were these crossfires. The reason I did that is because I had these on another truck, but I thought it would be even more important on this truck, because when you have 46,000 pounds on your rear suspension back here, you really want to make sure that your tires are up. Blowouts happen because the tires have low pressure, not because they're overinflated or they're damaged. What happens is guys don't check their tires when they do their pre-trip, make sure the pressure is good, and then as they flex and everything, because they don't have enough pressure, they heat up, and that heat causes the tires to fail, not overinflation. So what these do, crossfires, they equalize the pressure between both tires, and they give you a little, you know, if the black lines are matched up, then the pressure is real close to that 115, which is what I set them at because I do heavier stuff. So coming into the cab here, my 18 speed I like. I go back and forth. Sometimes I kind of wish I still had my automated in my last truck, just because when you get into traffic, it is so much easier. Not having to shift is kind of nice sometimes. But then there are other times where I really enjoy going through the gears on this 18 speed. It works great. No problems with it. I think one thing I would change is, instead of 358 rears, I think I would go with 370s if I had to spec it again, just to get a little more power to the ground going up hills and stuff. I think the best spec would probably be like 411s and a 2-speed auxiliary transmission, so you can have the best of both worlds. You can have plenty of power when you're heavy, and then when you're empty, you can flip it up into your highway gears and keep your RPMs down and your fuel mileage up. So I'll give you guys a look at the cab. This has the, I think they call it TFT dash. So it has all of your gauges right here. So there's really no need for any auxiliary gauges or anything. I like this display. It works very well. No complaints with it. So, but I like gauges too, you know. I like old school trucks with plenty of gauges in it. So I'll give you guys a little look around the cab here. Driving. I will say that this truck is extremely comfortable. I do not mind driving this all day. So plenty of leg room, plenty of ways to get your feet in different positions. You have a little footrest up here that you can put your foot on. The seats are quite nice. I think these are the mid-level seats. So one thing I will say about these seats, I don't know why, I don't like the armrests. I don't use the armrests at all. When I used to drive for Old Dominion, they had Freightliners, and I loved the Freightliner armrests. But this, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel great, you know, with when your arm is on it. So one thing I would change is the armrests on these seats. I don't know, but other than that, these seats are pretty awesome. They have lumbar support. It's a memory seat, so you just set the level where you want it, and then when you get out, you press that button and it dumps, and when you get back in, you release that button and it comes right back to the position you had it. Another thing these seats have, they are heated, so wintertime, that is really nice. Here is my little 40-inch sleeper. I've got storage space on both sides. Those little racks, just a little bit of storage, and then it's just the bed. I actually don't have the mattress in here. I don't sleep in the truck. I have taken to getting hotels just because I've been driving for like 18 years, and I've been on my own for 10. I have slept in all of my other trucks. I just decided that I don't want to do that anymore, and as an owner-operator, I figure that's my prerogative. So I don't sleep in the truck, I get a hotel. I know there's plenty of guys out there that think that's a waste of money, and that's fine. You guys can do whatever you want. I prefer getting hotels. So this is my under the bunk storage. Sorry, it's pretty messy in here right now. So, and then you have the same thing on the other side. So this is the other side. I actually do keep an air mattress and a pillow and blanket in here, just in case, you know, in case of emergency I need to sleep in the truck. I can, but it has not happened yet. Another thing I would change next time, I did not get this truck with hood mirrors. I can't remember if that was an oversight on my part, or, you know, they just, I don't know, we just didn't order it with hood mirrors. I would definitely get hood mirrors if I had to do it again, especially with oversized stuff. I'm constantly having to adjust the mirrors, the side view mirrors, trying to see the back of my trailer, and blindside backing is a lot more difficult when you don't have those hood mirrors. So definitely recommend getting hood mirrors if you have to spec a truck. Alright guys, I think that will just about do it for the truck. Let me know if I missed anything. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask and I will answer the best of my ability. But yeah, so that's my 2025 Kenworth T880. So far, I would give it 2 thumbs up. It's a great truck. I have had no problems. So, good job Kenworth, good job Cummins, Eaton, Meritor for the axles. This has been a great truck. Thank you guys so much for watching the review of my truck today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to see me using the truck, see it in action, go over to my channel. I've got a ton of videos of hauling oversized and heavy equipment, so you can see this Kenworth in action. And again, thanks for watching.